Last we left our intrepid adventurers, where were we? There was...
we just finished the fight with the...
Oh, right.
With the guys who were stabbing the old man in the street.
The old guy.
Right, and somebody got thrown out of a window.
Yeah, they threw themselves up, but we don't know that. Anyway, so they rescued the old guy. Hooray, we're heroes!
He ran away. I mean, they had two prisoners to interrogate. They had the mage, one of the rogues. One of the shifters ran away, one of the shifters was killed, and one of the rogues was killed.
So, this city sucks, and so the guard are like, yeah, whatever, do whatever you want. We didn't even bring him to the guard. There was like... I don't even know, if we brought him to the guard, would they be like... There's no bounty, and therefore we won't do anything? Or?
I don't know, if you brought him to the guard, they would be arrested or whatever. But you have to bring him there, because the Spellblades patrol the actual city, which is within the walls. The massive urban sprawl outside the walls is just like, it's controlled by like bounties and by a sheriff for each district, so it's just sort of like, yeah, bring him in, we'll report a crime, we'll put a bounty. There's like one sheriff for like 1,000 or 10,000 people or whatever.
So I guess murdering someone in the street technically is illegal in this city. But no one was going to show up and do anything about it. So we do a little interrogating of the guys. And he's like, man, you guys suck, this is terrible. That was a horrible, horrible war criminal. That was the butcher of Bracken Ridge, I believe was the place.
Which I think almost everyone had heard of.
Yeah.
He was a general who, at the end of the Eve War, he was marching like thousands of people back to be pain slaves back in Eve in the Empire. And then like the war was going badly. It looked like they were going to lose. It was clear that their slaves were going to be rescued. So he ordered them all slaughtered. So he ordered the slaughter of 3,000 slaves.
Just for the heck of it, really.
And the mage guy said that like some of those slaves were his parents and his family.
Yeah. And
that really he'd been hunting this guy for a long time.
And so he's like, you guys suck. And we're like, no, you suck. Because stabbing an old guy in the street, what do you think we're going to do? And also, if he's the butcher of Bracken Ridge, why don't you tell the guard and maybe get a bounty and like have him arrested and do a trial and all that kind of stuff? And he's like, well, we know he's the butcher. We just don't have any proof.
Well, so, yes. However, it's because it's all like underworld stooly kind of stuff, right? Like they've tracked him here from this guy's reference and the guy who forged this document and the guy who did this. They have no they have no proof that's going to hold him in court, so they're just going to kill this guy.
They only have unreliable proof from unreliable people.
Sounds very for an adventuring party.
So yeah, we're not super convinced. We think he's...
Well, it depends on the party members.
Yeah.
Cricket was not super convinced. Hank, however, apologized to them and was like totally...
Of course.
Even the cats?
Well, the cats were dead, so luckily that moral dilemma didn't come up. But
yeah, you felt real bad about it.
He felt bad, and he was just totally on the side of helping these guys.
Yeah.
Everyone else seemed kind of unsure. Cricket seemed insistent that they have better proof.
Yeah.
So we had the guy who's like, yeah, I'm on your side. The person's like, I don't really believe you, and everyone else is like, I don't know.
So we apparently decided this is our problem now.
I mean, the butcher of Bracken Ridge must be brought to justice.
I guess.
Justice.
I mean, Cricket certainly was like, if it is the butcher of Bracken Ridge, oh yeah, totally, kill him alive. But A, do we know that it is? And B, is it our job, to hunt him down?
Well,
but everyone else, even the ones that were pretty dubious, or like sort of like, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. They were all like, yeah, let's find out. Let's dig into this.
Yeah, and their basic plan, I think, was, let's capture this guy and try to bring him to trial. And even the mage who was hunting him was like, all right, I don't think it's going to work, but I guess if you're helping hunt him, then that's a good thing for me. He actually he kept trying. He was like lying to them, and it wasn't really doing very much for him. So he ended up just point blank telling them, like, yeah, I'll help you track him down. If I have a chance to kill him, I'm totally going to kill him, even though you don't want me to. But if it ends up we bring him to trial, then that's better than nothing.
He's an honest murderer, if nothing else. So we're like, okay, we'll do some sleuthing and figure out, whose side we should be on in all this. And so we go and we find the house this guy had been staying at with the old guy.
I think they knew the house, but they hadn't actually been there. So the mage and the rogue, who are left alive, came with them.
Yeah.
And they knew of the house, but they hadn't been there because he caught wind of them knowing about him and fled before they even went to his house. What else?
We did some streetwise just asking around about this guy.
Right.
He's a retired baker. And it seems that he has, a fair bit of money to, maintain him, but not like extravagantly.
Yeah, he lives simply, but he's basically retired. But it's a time and place where people don't normally retire. Normally you work till you die or you move in with your kids. But he seems to live alone and have enough to get by, but not extravagant.
So we break into his house. We brought the mage and the thief along, and they both tried to run off.
The two guys that were trying to kill him before?
Yeah, we brought him along with us, because what else are we going to do? And they tried running off, and the thief, of course, got away because he's stealthy, sneaky stuff. The mage is, like, doing the like that, and we're like, what are you doing? I'm sneaking? Okay. And so he's like, you got me, and he sticks with us.
Well, after that, they did tie him up. Because I specifically asked them, did you tie them up? And because they were talking about Serendipity really wanted to tie them up, but she doesn't have like a say per se. And everyone else is like, no, we're not tying them up. And so I was like, okay, so you didn't tie them up? And she's like, yes, we did. And they're like, no, we didn't tie them up. And so like, okay, we'll make a perception check.
That was hilarious. We were voting on what to do. And I think everyone except Serendipity and Cricket voted to go and investigate. And Serendipity and Cricket were like, we don't want to. But Cricket doesn't get a vote. Even though she called the vote. She was like, okay, we have to decide what we're going to do, party. Let's hold a vote. Everyone votes. Except me, of course, because I'm party property. I don't get a vote. And then Serendipity votes, the same way Cricket would have voted. And Cricket's like, I'm sorry, Serendipity, you're a guest of the party. You don't get a vote either.
And eventually you went with the tried and true, innocent until proven suspicious.
Yeah. So basically, even though it would have been not an exactly split vote, but it would be close to a split vote, Cricket just qualified both of the people on one side of the vote. So
I want electoral reform.
Well,
Help from refreshing myself.
on the topic of the mage who tried to sneak away, they were all like, you're not helping your case here. But he's like, well, they said, no matter how this turns out, or unless it turns out, depending on how it turns out, they might turn them into the police, right? So he's like, well, I was fine to just like sneak around and like help you out, but like not be trapped by you so that you can't turn me into the police. And he even said that the rogue guy is like for sure like sneaking around behind the party, like seeing what they're doing and ready to help if they need help. But like he just doesn't want to be like where they have their hands on him.
Throughout the rest of the adventure, we would every once in a while call out, and ask Invisible Rogue, could you help us out with this Invisible Rogue? You're really good at whatever. But he never did.
What were their names? Do you remember the rogue and the mage?
I can't.
One of them was named Henry. Was that the rogue or the mage?
Weren't they giving us aliases anyways?
Yeah, but it doesn't. Still, they had a name that they called
Yeah.
themselves. I just don't want to keep calling the mage, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
One of them was Henry, and the other one was like
We're never going to see the beginning.
Calvin. Calvin. The mage was Calvin, and the rogue was Henry.
So yeah, Invisible Rogue never actually helped us out with squat.
So far.
So we break into the house.
Yeah, the rogue ran away right before they needed him. Like,
Yeah.
That was actually when they're like, all right, we have a rogue with us. He can open this door. Rogue. Rogue?
So, as I recall, the only thing of note that we found in the house was that hidden drawer, right?
Yeah, it was just a very simple house. It was simple,
Yeah.
sort of kitchen area, a bed, and desk.
But there was a drawer that had a hidden compartment.
You did find something exciting in the desk. You found 2 more Darian Conan novels.
Oh, right, yes. It's a series, apparently.
Yes, the romantic adventures of Darian Conan.
Is this like how in Mass Effect you can find, what is it? What's the books that you keep finding in Mass Effect? Oh, I can't remember. Erotic, like...
Darian Conan novels they're trashy romances about a Conan paladin. Conan are like kind of like My Little Pony.
Fornax or something?
Yes.
So, anyway,
Yeah, so we found those. Don't even know what the titles are, but that wasn't the crux of our investigation. We found a drawer that had a hidden compartment. And in the hidden compartment, I remember there was the metal. Was there anything else? There was some papers and stuff.
there was a medal. So there was a medal it was a medal for bravery, and it bore the symbol of the Empire, the Eve Empire, and specifically the symbol they used during the big war. So it basically is like this world's equivalent of a swastika. So it's a big medal for bravery with this world equivalent of a swastika on it.
It gives a magical bonus to...
Yeah, it's a pretty cool magic item because it's like about being brave. But you have to be, I said explicitly, you have to wear it with the swastika prominently displayed to get the benefit. So no one was too keen on it after that. But there was a book of fairy tales that are like, it's like a book that Eve. It's like a book of Eve fairy tale kind of thing. It's just whatever. And a little key.
And there was a list of cities.
Oh, right, that's right. That was there.
Yeah.
There was a list of cities around, like the Mongrel area and stuff, that...
Most of the names were crossed out. Including the name of Allenway, the city we're in.
Sorry, Valneva.
Oh, Valneva. Whatever. Allenway's the one that keeps blowing up, that's right.
Best city ever.
But anyway, there were I think there were 4 that were crossed out.
6.
6 that were crossed out. And so we figured if he's on the run from something, maybe this is a list of cities that, he's has decided aren't safe to be in or something like that. So we're going to look for him. We'd want to look in the 6 remaining cities. Though, if I was on the run, I would totally have a fake list like that sitting around to throw pursuit anyway. Because, I'm going to remember, oh yeah, if I go in that city, they'll string me up by my intestines. I remember that. I don't need to write that down.
When there were that many cities in which they will string up by your intestines?
That's true. That's true. Maybe he's getting old. Maybe he's worried his memory's failing or something. All right, this city. So after that, we tried to figure out. How did we figure out the key was? There was
You just guessed.
The key
You
was,
searched the place and you couldn't find a place for it.
Yeah, well, we figured it was probably the safe deposit box key or something like that. And the city does in fact have banks that have safe deposit boxes. So I went and found one that the key matched up to. And again, this city sucks. They were like, hey, we're a bunch of random strangers. We've got a key. We'd like to go and open the vault this key is for.
I mean, they didn't.
Okay.
Well, you didn't actually have to talk to anyone. It's just you walked in there and they glared at you suspiciously and didn't do anything.
Glared at me suspiciously, well deservedly, and I did nothing about it. Like, yeah, you're that little old man, right? Yes, I am.
Well, they don't.
Was this still were they tied up with her in tow?
No.
No, yeah, you did.
Yeah, we were.
They were talking about that, but this town collects a lot of bounties, and often bounties are better when you capture them alive. So it's actually not unusual to see people being pulled through the street on tied up. So
Yeah, but
This city sucks. I hate this place. Anyway. So we find that it's like a little vault. You walk in. We open it up, and there's a huge pile of coins in there, copper coins. He's got some money stashed away. But we don't want to rob him. We're investigating. So we rummage through the coins, and sure enough, there's some stuff hidden underneath it. We find little portraits of what are probably his family members. There's familial resemblance. And they're all like stained with tears and stuff. And what was that other thing we found? There was one other thing there, wasn't there?
no, that was it.
No, just that?
Just a pile of gold with a little box full of portraits. Some of them were tear stained.
Yeah.
Of various like old people and kids and stuff.
Yeah. So, what I concluded from all this, obviously, this guy and his family were attacked by the horrible Eve during the Eve War. And his family were murdered. And he vowed revenge. And he hunted down the guy that killed his family and took his medal as a trophy after he killed him. Yeah, clearly. That's what this is all about.
That's what I saw. Or those guys hunting the old guy planted the metal in his house because they have a thief.
Yeah. That was actually, I did bring that up. The other thing was an invisible thief is running
these
around.
hate things. Don't leave them behind.
Well, maybe there was a big block of metal, and he took away all the parts that weren't shaped like the bravery metal. There we are.
That would be a way to get her on the contract.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the obvious interpretation. But everyone else was like, oh, this could also be interpreted in a very twisty, roundabout way that maybe he is the butcher after all. And so the quest continues to find this guy and ask him, hey, are you the butcher? So this guy has skipped town. We asked at the gates and stuff. Someone had actually seen him leave. I remember that.
Yeah.
So he's left town, and he's heading south.
So, which is really the only major way to head from this town. There are other ways, but that's like everything is south, right?
Yeah.
The Crack is to the west, and the Titan Waste is to the north. Other people can have this, by the way. So,
You guys asked how long they've been in town?
How long?
I think they did say that. I think he'd been there. Maybe he lived there for a while, like a year or something.
So we're like, well, one of the cities that isn't crossed out is in that direction too. Well, all of them are, but one's right nearby. Let's head out and go on a road. And John's like, you remember you've got a quest stack that you built up. And we're like, oh right, there's other things we were doing. There's that ridiculous box that we're supposed to deliver that we're not supposed to look into on pain of death, and we're not supposed to drop out or whatever, all sorts of. It's like, yeah, we'll take your 500 gold piece little quest. Like, sure, okay. By the way, if you do anything wrong, you will die. And we're like, no.
You might just see life imprisonment. No, actually, it could be just a small fine.
Anyway.
Well, and actually, one thing that might be worth mentioning is you went and collected the map
Yeah.
that was offered by Varkir, and also just got him to point out where those 6 uncrossed off cities are.
And then there was all speaking.
And then you got the different side of the city because once again you went to the Spellblade area where it's like the streets are clean. And
Yeah.
they had to get an appointment even to come in. They were escorted by the Spellblades through the streets.
Yeah.
There's like no crime.
See, that,
nice city.
that part of the city is okay. The rest of the city sucks. They need to even it out a bit more. Anyway. And then there was that one other little minor thing about that guy that kept trying to buy cricket. And who was wanted. There was a bounty out for him. He was supposedly trying to smuggle pain slave related magical items or something like that. And so they figured, okay, before we leave town, let's take a shot at him. We need to try and entice him to try and get a hold of cricket again. So cricket's the bait. But he's been burned already by the party. He's run off. So they decide we'll have Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malore be the person going around. And we'll disguise cricket as a different satyr. And so Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malore uses prestidigitation to blondify cricket. So now she's a blonde satyr. Which is worth a lot more than a regular satyr. So it's kind of like, ooh, it's so valuable.
I'm rare.
Yeah. So the rest of the party was all like, hiding and ready to pounce and all that kind of stuff. But Serendipity and Cricket go wandering around. And sure enough, this guy appears in an alley, like, hey, you want to sell me that, that satyr there? And so we start haggling. He's offering ridiculously low prices. And Cricket's trying to buffer value and stuff. And Serendipity haggles with him. And then finally it looks like he's screw this, I'm leaving, because this isn't working out.
Well, there was a bluff that went awry, so he started getting suspicious.
Oh, okay.
He was like, yeah, because he would have haggled up higher, but he was getting suspicious because you guys went off to discuss, and there was some bluff involved, and he saw through it, but didn't know what was going on, and he was getting very flighty.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't Cricket that failed her bluff. She's got ridiculously high bluff.
It was Serendipity.
Yeah. Which is surprising considering all you can see are her eyes.
Yeah.
But I did say she cast a sidelong look at someone, and it was suspicious, so he started getting really skittish.
So we tried running, at which point we sprung the ambush and started hitting him. And the blows were just not doing anything at all. He was just completely, you stab him and the sword goes in and comes out with nothing. Obviously, he has a pain slave, at least one. And so Croesus hits him with a spear, and there's the telltale sign of a pain slave bond dissipating. So Croesus just killed the pain slave. At which point Cricket is totally flips out at this guy and is headbutting him in the face. He's like, what was his name? And he's totally well, I don't know what you're talking about. Serendipity summons the almighty fireball. Puts it behind him so he can't flee into the alley. And he's being burned by it, except of course he's not feeling any pain. And Serendipity is all yeah, I'm going to burn him to death because she doesn't like him. And I'm like, you're not burning him. He doesn't feel the pain. So yeah, it's dead, John. The age-old dilemma of a pain slave bonded thief. You want to hurt him so bad, but you punch him. You're not punching him. So yeah, we capture him.
Grappled him and...
Yeah, he's basically, he cannot possibly run away. He's completely surrounded by high-level adventurers.
Right.
Yeah, so they all just piled on him and grappled him to the ground.
Yeah.
That was where we ended.
Yep.
So there's an element that we've missed from the previous retelling. So it was right near the end when we were going to...
Yes.
The party was discussing like, off in a corner of a tavern or whatever, their plans for the
Going
sting on
after-
that Eve guy.
Yeah.
Like just right at the end, the guy who was trying to buy cricket. And this guy comes up, this big, tall guy with chiseled features and bright red skin, comes over to them and says, I can read your mind. If you don't pay me 100 gold, I'm going to go to that Eve guy and tell him your whole plan. And
Yeah, he's a scion,
Yeah.
and they have all the multicolored skin.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
so, and as the party's debating what to do about this,
Yes, we start discussing should we just kill him or should we...
yeah, that was Hank's vote. Hank was like, "Hey, I roll for initiative." But
So while we're doing that, Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malore, she casts a spell. It's was it counter power or something?
I don't know, but
it wasn't a ritual. It was
yeah. I think charm person.
yeah.
Or
Well,
some
we find
equivalent.
that out after. She's like, I've done this, and John's like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, he's her best buddy because she rolled high in his roll.
She's like, "Hey, old buddy, old pal. Oh, nice to see you." She says, "Oh, how are you doing?" And I don't know. It's fallen on hard times. I've taken to reading people's mind and extorting them. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's how I'm making ends meet these days.
The tables have been turned, my psionic friend. Literally, you are our friend now. So instead of this extortion racket, and he admits to her that, he actually didn't know, he didn't know where this Eve guy was.
Yeah.
Right? He couldn't have ratted us out. He was just trying to get 100 gold off us.
Yeah.
And if we
I
said
think
no, there wasn't much he could have done about it.
he was gonna follow them to try to find the Eve guy.
Yeah,
but
it was a lame plan.
yeah.
If we just told him no, go away, there wasn't a whole lot he could really do about it.
Yeah.
He could try, but it would suck. So yeah, now he's our buddy.
For like 4 hours.
Yeah, which is way long enough.
Yeah.
So let's see. Did he say anything else before we went off?
I don't remember. There was some discussion, but
Yeah. And so, he decides to tag along with us on our little quest and help us out. I can't remember if we told him we might give him a cut or something.
I don't think
It doesn't matter because he's going to forget all of this when the spell expires anyway. So we can offer him the world. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a great charm person thing because when it expires, you forget all about the period where you were charmed. So anyway... So he's going to help us out. And so when we go to meet the guy in the alley, or lure him into meeting us, we have a scion reading his mind off in the background. And so I keep saying Vina. I keep wanting to say Vina Min Gwingriap, because that was her previous ridiculously long name. Gwingriap. But yeah, anyway, Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malore is talking with this guy, and what was his name anyway? The Scion guy.
Oh, the Scion guy?
Yeah. Auk. That's right. I remember it was something short, interesting. Anyway, Auk is reading this guy's mind, and I can't remember who he told it to as one of the other party members.
Actually, it might have been Serendipity because I think that their conversation might have tipped.
Oh,
that's what made him start being skittish, I think.
Yeah, I guess Auk would be most interested in telling Serendipity Van Goldstrider Malore anyway because she's his buddy. He tells her, hey, I'm a guy that's going around extorting people and reading minds and stuff, but this guy, he's scum. The stuff I'm reading in his mind is just horrifying.
Yeah.
We need to take this guy down for the good of the world,
Yeah. And he mentioned that he is indeed trying to send the package off for pain slaving, and it's like involved. It's something worse than pain slaving. They're doing some.
They've come up with some new thing that's horrible.
Okay.
And I mean, he doesn't know what it is because the guy isn't thinking about it in particular. But he's thinking about some new thing that this is for. So super excited about
this scuzzball is all of a sudden like, oh geez, we got to be heroes here.
Yeah.
We got to take this guy down. Doesn't matter if we get paid. He's horrible. So yeah, that was about when the guy was like, okay, I'm out of here, and combat ensued.
Yeah, and actually I had stats for that Cyan guy in case they fought him, and he did try to do something in combat, but they took this guy down to the ground before he even got his shot off, so he didn't actually get to do anything cool.
Yeah.
But
still, he did read this guy's mind and reveal something worse than pain slavers going on.
oh yeah, it was quite useful and very unexpected by me. Like I just had this random guy. Now, now he's working for the party.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be around long enough for us to interrogate and have him try pulling this guy's mind apart for us or something.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes for Serendipity's spell to come back.
Let's try to roll.
I think it must be a daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise...
like every 5 minutes, right? And you will follow me, and you will follow me, and you will follow me.
Everything is still very complicated. The old man that we saved from being murdered in the street could actually be a horrible war criminal from the Empire's past. Or maybe not. The men that were trying to murder him don't really have very good evidence. So we tried to find out, and we found some evidence that perhaps he was a war criminal and we made a mistake, but it wasn't very good evidence. Frankly, I think if there isn't good evidence, we shouldn't be murdering old men in the street. Even if there is a little bit of evidence, not very good evidence, that he's a horrible mass murderer. But that's not the most complicated thing we're dealing with. The other thing that we're dealing with is that man that kept trying to buy me. It turns out that he is, in fact, a legitimate pain slaver. He has pain slaves. We accidentally killed one, even. So, we've caught him. But he is still pain slave bonded. This is a dilemma that many have faced in recent years. Essentially, he has hostages. As tempting as it is to torture him to death, really, that wouldn't be a good idea. I don't know what we're going to do with him. His pain slaves could be anywhere. It would take a long time for them to get to the Temple of Freedom. I suppose we'll turn him into the authorities, and he'll be put in jail for the rest of his life. That's the best we can do right now, I think. And then we'll get back on the trail of that old man who might be the butcher of Bracken Ridge. Maybe we'll find out whether he is or not. I hope we do before we murder him in the street.
One thing you have to remember is that if you kill a man, you have to have a reason in law for doing so, otherwise it's just murder. Like this fellow that these guys were trying to kill in the middle of the street. They don't have evidence. They have circumstantial evidence. That doesn't hold up. That's just murder. You would never get away with it in court.
I made a terrible mistake. These guys we fought, who seemed like they were murdering this helpless old guy, we totally misunderstood the situation, and turns out the guy they were after was the butcher of Bracken Ridge. He's done horrible atrocities, killed thousands of slaves, and we were responsible for setting him free. And these guys were wanting to bring him to justice, and it's only right that we help him out, but we have other business to attend to here in Valneva, but we'll get back to chasing after him as soon as we're ready. I hope the others will be willing as well.
Dear Aderon, I know you can't hear me, but sometimes I need someone to talk to. You know, I always said that I thought there was a little bit of good in each of these humans, and you said, no, some of them are just pure evil. And today, as we were trying to find more about the man they call the butcher, I wondered to myself if maybe there was some good in him. And I could almost hear you telling me, Aurora, some people are just purely bad. It was nice to hear your voice again, even though it was fictional. But as we continued to search, as we searched through his house and then through his vault, we found a picture of his pictures of his family members. We presume his family members. And someone said that they thought they looked like they'd been damaged by water drops. So either he carelessly left these pictures out in the rain, or possibly they got splattered while cooking, or perhaps it could have been his tears. Which shows that humans can be more complex than my brothers would warrant, and that, even though he may have actually killed all those people and done horrible things, there's some amount of something in him that leads him to miss people, and maybe it's somehow tied to his motivations for being so awful. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to meeting him, just to find out what he's like, and if he's really that awful. Is it possible? I don't know. I wish you were here and I could talk to you about this. I miss you.
It was a long time ago. There was a meeting, and they had the argument that Danik and Fezzik are going on and on about all the time. But the elders sat down and they talked it out. And some of them were like Danik. They said that everybody had to come together. We all had to heal the world's wound. And if no one else understood that the Oblin should make them. That the Oblin could see the law, and that they should enforce the law for everybody. And then some of them were like Fezim, and they said that every race has laws that are right for their own behavior, and that we shouldn't interfere in, for instance, the humans' laws, or the elves' laws, or the gnomes' laws, even though it looks to us like they're being completely ridiculous and evil and insane, like what's going on right now. It's hard being a policeman, I can tell you. You have to think really hard, and then you have to convince other people. This is a strange dream. I like being a policeman, but it's not easy. And everyone keeps on yelling at each other. And in the end, the elders agreed that whether or not it would be right for the Oblin to make sure that everybody else behaves in a sane fashion instead of following their own laws, the fact of the matter is we can't heal the wound and try to change the world. We have to do what our duty is, and it's to heal the wound. And I have to remember that it's not my job to try to make all of these people understand the right way to behave. It's my job to do my duty. And my duty. I made a promise. I made a promise. I have to go. I have to go back. I said it every. I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.